this prison is ours.
Slow down, cowboy.
You snatched the locks off our doors.
We'll give you new locks if that's how you want it.
This is our prison. We were here first.
Locked in the broom closet? We took it, set you free. It's ours. We spilled blood.
We're moving back into our cell block.
You'll have to get your own.
It is mine. I took out personal artifacts in there. That's about as mine as it gets.
Whoa. Maybe let's try to... There are other cell blocks.
You could leave. Try your luck out on the road. See the look on his face.
He makes one move.
Just give me a signal.
Bitch is ready. I got this. It's coming at me, bro.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Shit happens.
Där står det så här, som talar starkare än Abels blod. Jag vill bara säga det här, Abels blod. Karl slog ihjäl sin bror. Och det blodet ropade från marken. Och vad då för någonting? Det ropade hem. Men det blod som Jesus göt, det ropar någonting helt annat. Det ropar på nåd. Det ropar på barmhärtighet. Det ropar rättfärdighet. Och det är det som du behöver få tag på. Så just nu så är du välkommen att komma fram och ta del av bröd och vin. Och ta del av Jesu kropp som bröts ner och som uppstod. Och Jesu blod som utflödes. Varsågoda.
Positive.
Lebih mantili, para orang metutili yo.
Please.
Next episode of AMC's The Walking Dead.
Satan capitalized on the basic need of humanity to want to go to heaven. He capitalized so well on it, and he hated humanity so much that he wanted the destruction of humanity. And that was a great idea, to have us kill ourselves and kill each other so we can supposedly go to his paradise, which is hell.
Very few people realize it was the Catholics that started Islam. They started the whole religion purposely to try to get the Holy Land back for the Catholics. They built up the Islam, they funded Muhammad, they trained him, they sent a Catholic nun out of the monastery. They said, we want you to come out of your convent, go find a young promising Muslim, marry him, and train him to raise up an army of Arabs to go take back the Holy Land for the Mother Church. It started to work, but then it failed because Islam got so big, they said, well, forget you Catholics, we're doing what we want. And I don't think most Muslims, which is now, what, 10-20% of the world population, Islam, I don't think most of them know that they're really started off as a front for the Catholic Church.
Allah in the Quran, am I correct in this, is actually a deceiver, that he has the attributes of Satan himself?
Well, the 99 names of Allah are very well known in Islam.
Yeah.
Some of these names, if you look at them, one of the names of Allah in the Quran is Al-Mutakabbir, which means the most proud one. When I read the Bible as a Muslim, and I saw the most proud one in the Bible was Satan, or Al-Mumit, the one who causes death. And that's the problems where Muslims cannot see the truth from the Bible.
But the one that they say is Allah is the most proud one?
The most, we say Al-Mutakabbir,
yeah.
It's the Al, like the Elohim.
Yeah. Yeah.
Al is the most proud one. So the most proud one is Allah.
But that's really Satan.
Exactly. And it's worse than that, because he's the one who causes death, Al-Mumit,
yeah.
Al-Makir, the great deceiver.
Yes.
This is the names of Allah in the Quran. In the Quran it says وَيَمْكُرُونَ وَيَمْكُرُ اللَّهُ وَاللَّهُ خَيْرُ الْمَاكِرِينَ. Allah is the greatest of all deceivers. So it is okay, that's why Islam has deception in war. That's why Islam offers hudna, or a peace treaty, to non-Muslims up to 10 years, but they must break the peace treaty somewhere. So a hudna is a treaty, it's actually not a peace treaty, it's a ceasefire. In Islam we're allowed to have a ceasefire for two reasons. Reason number one, to gain concessions.
Yes.
Reason number two, to deceive the enemy and destroy them in the end.
Ask the Muslims, how do you know how do you know Muhammad was a prophet? They'll say, well, he had a mole on his back. Holy moly. That's how you know he's a prophet, because he's got a mole on his back. I've got a mole on my back. Got one right here on my cheek. Man, I must be a double prophet. In one of the Muslim verses says, Muhammad asks the question, when I am dead and buried in the ground and go back to dust, is that all? What will happen to me? Muhammad himself had no clue if he was going to heaven. The last hour will not come before the Muslims fight the Jews and the Muslims kill them. That's their plan. The purest joy in Islam is to kill and be killed for Allah.
Basically, Satan plagiarizes the Spirit to recruit, to entice, to seduce. It plagiarizes the Spirit, the Creator. A lot of these religions were designed, their very purpose, thinking this many moves ahead, designed to fail. How? Why? Well, if they steal the teachings of Christ, then point their fingers at themselves like they always do, expose the Babylonian symbolism, the satanic symbolism of the religions they created, they could do that in hopes to make you abandon all Christ's teachings as well, do you see? If you don't know that they stole those teachings, then you'll think that they created those teachings. They expose the deity as symbolism, and then everybody will have their big sigh of relief. Oh, we don't have to be good. We don't have to follow any of that. You see, the ultimate last-ditch attempt to discredit Christ. Why? That opens the door for the New World religion of sorcery, or Satanism, for the utopia. It has to be that because there's no way these people doing what they're doing could have given the metaphors that Christ gave. They stole his teachings to draw people into both Christianity and Satanism. Then they're going to point the finger at the symbolism of Christianity and other religions so that people release all of the teachings of Christ, thinking it was a fraud, for the final entrapment. The primary foundation of what you are is love, and that's what they don't want you to know. And the easiest way to do that is to come in the name of love and slowly tear you away from it, redefine it, to ensnare you in the web.
You want to stop Islam, what would you do?
We have to understand, this Islamic movement is a cancer.
Yes.
It is a cancer not only that will destroy itself, but it will also destroy us in the process. We must isolate the cancer and have it destroy itself. We have to get out of oil, because that's the only reason why we're so much involved in the Middle East, because of the oil interest. If we get out of oil, because oil is the wine that is causing the intoxication of the nations, and we're selling out of it.
You can easily see the limits of science because it cannot answer the elementary questions of a child. Who am I? What is the purpose of my existence? Where am I going?
As you know, there's a problem with American education that some nutcases are trying to introduce creationism into American schools, which is obviously very bad for science, and my scientific colleagues are deeply worried by this and are trying to fight it.
And I would like to suggest, Richard, that somewhere down in this you're making a category mistake. Now, the thesis here is that science supports atheism, not Christianity. I think atheism undermines science very seriously. I would suggest that the sophistication of the mechanism, and science rejoices in finding such mechanisms, is evidence for the sheer wonder of the creative genius of God.
My final vestige, last vestige of religious faith disappeared when I finally understood the Darwinian explanation for life.
Well, I would want to argue that there's a logical path from any ideology that's fanatical and oppressive to the kind of behavior you say, whether it's religion or atheistic, because atheism is a faith, of course, as well.
It's not.
Of course it is. Don't you believe it?
What if I told you Jesus came to abolish religion? What if I told you voting Republican really wasn't his mission? What if I told you Republican doesn't automatically mean Christian, and just because you call some people blind doesn't automatically give you vision? I mean, if religion is so great, why has it started so many wars? Why does it build huge churches but fails to feed the poor? Tell single moms God doesn't love them if they've ever had a divorce, but in the Old Testament, God actually calls religious people whores. Religion might preach grace, but another thing they practice. Tend to ridicule God's people. They did it to John the Baptist. They can't fix their problems, and so they just mask it, not realizing religion's like spraying perfume on a casket. See, the problem with religion is it never gets to the core. It's just behavior modification, like a long list of chores. Like, let's dress up the outside, make it look nice and neat. But it's funny, that's what they used to do to mummies while the corpse rots underneath. Now, I ain't judging. I'm just saying, quit putting on a fake look. Because there's a problem if people only know that you're a Christian by your Facebook. I mean, in every other aspect of life, you know that logic's unworthy. It's like saying you play for the Lakers just because you bought a jersey. See, this was me too, but no one seemed to be on to me. Acting like a church kid while addicted to pornography. See, on Sunday I'd go to church, but Saturday getting faded, acting if I was simply created to just have sex and get wasted. See, I spent my whole life building this facade of neatness, but now that I know Jesus, I boast in my weakness. Because if grace is water, then the church should be an ocean. It's not a museum for good people, it's a hospital for the broken. Which means I don't have to hide my failure, I don't have to hide my sin. Because it doesn't depend on me, it depends on Him. See, because when I was God's enemy, and certainly not a fan, He looked down and said, I want that man. Which is why Jesus hated religion, and for it He called them fools. Don't you see so much better than just following some rules? Now let me clarify. I love the church, I love the Bible, and yes, I believe in sin. But if Jesus came to your church, would they actually let Him in? See, remember He was called a glutton and a drunkard by religious men. But the Son of God never supports self-righteousness, not now, not then. Now back to the point, one thing is vital to mention. How Jesus and religion are on opposite spectrums. See, one's the work of God, but one's a man-made invention. See, one is the cure, but the other's the infection. See, because religion says do, Jesus says done. Religion says slave, Jesus says son. Religion puts you in bondage, while Jesus sets you free. Religion makes you blind, but Jesus makes you see. And that's why religion and Jesus are two different clans. Religion is man searching for God. Christianity is God searching for man. Which is why salvation is freely mine, and forgiveness is my own. Not based on my merits, but Jesus' obedience alone. Because He took the crown of thorns and the blood dripped down His face. He took what we all deserved. I guess that's why you call it grace. And while being murdered, He yelled, Father, forgive them. They know not what they do. Because when He was dangling on that cross, He was thinking of you. And He absorbed all your sin and He buried it in the tomb, which is why I'm kneeling at the cross saying, come on, there's room. So for religion, no, I hate it. In fact, I literally resent it. Because when Jesus said, it is finished, I believe He meant it.